Hi, it's Jay from Iridescent Tarot, back with some more sparkle for you. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about deck mods. Specifically, I posted a photo on my Instagram of recently edging the Tarot of Persephone's Garden. This was with a Copic marker that Erin, the Witch of Saturn, had found, and it's literally the perfect match. I think that she couldn't have found a better color for us to use for this, and this makes me even more excited to work with this deck. I just feel like it's really finished and complete now, and yeah, I love how it came out. There is just a little bit of darkening on the corners where I had like gone over it multiple times when I like turned the card. But I feel like if I were to go over the entirety of the cards again, it would just make it a slightly too dark. So I'm okay with the corners being like just the tiniest bit darker and leaving that alone. After I finished that mod, I decided that I wanted to edge the Little Bird Tarot, and I've had this deck for a while, but we are working with it for Deck Connectors Club this week. And I just felt like, again, sometimes when they have the raw edges, I just feel like the deck is incomplete and needs something. And given that these are old antique images, I thought that like this old antique-y distress ink look would fit well with the vibe of the deck. And I like the way that it looks, but I felt like after I finished this, I was like, oh my God, it looks like it's old and I want it to like smell good. Don't ask me how it got like this, but so what I did was I put some perfume oil on my hands and I just like handled the deck a little bit, and unfortunately, like right after that, it made like these splotches on the edges, and I was like super bummed out, and I went to bed and I'm like, oh my God, I ruined my deck. But then when I woke up, the splotches were gone. So I was like really, really relieved about that. And now the deck does smell really nice. I had used a perfume called Meadow, and I feel like it matches the vibe of the birds well. So after posting the pictures, I had gotten a couple questions just asking about edging, modifying these decks. So I wanted to film a very quick video showing how I edge my decks. So here I have the Discovering Beauty Tarot in mini form. It's so cute and adorable. And I love that the white borders on this edition are gone. So it's just black on the front, black on the back. And I feel like it's just crying out for black on the edges. So even though this is like a miniature version of edging a deck, I just wanted to show exactly how I do it. I pretty much do it the same way every time, and just thought it might be fun for you to see. So for this, I'm going to use this Copic 100, which is just straight up black. And I like these because they have the chisel tip, but a lot of times I use sparkle markers and they don't have this, and it's just like a little bit more difficult. But basically I run the edge of the marker along the edge of the card. And as you can see, I kind of go over the corners twice just by virtue of trying to not miss anything. And that's how it ended up a little bit extra dark on Persephone, but I'm not gonna let that bother me. Once I finish all 4 edges, I run the card along a paper towel to wipe off any excess. I feel like on this deck, it's not as important because we've got the black on the back and the black on the front. So this is probably the easiest one to not mess up. But for the decks that have light colors on the front or the back, to me, it's really important to wipe off the excess so that you don't have bleed over and you have a good finished product. It looks like nothing's coming off, but by the end of the deck, you'll see, you would see exactly how much excess is coming off, and be glad that you wiped it. So usually I will do this process like sitting on the couch, watching my Tarotube videos, have something playing in the background that I don't really need to look at, because I do like to make sure that, like, I do spend some time like inspecting them to make sure that there's no bleed over. For this deck, I don't have to do that, but most of the time I end up just making sure that there is no excess on the card. like it was kind of obvious in Little Bird in the corner. You can see there's been a little bit of excess buildup for that, but all you have to do is kind of like aggressively wipe it and usually it comes off. But I wasn't super aggressive with this one either because I didn't mind the antique looking on the corners either. I think it just adds more to the vibe. So it all depends on what kind of vibe that you're going for, how much imperfection that you're willing to live with. I tend to be pretty just like I try to be careful. So like if I know that I'm edging something with light colors, then I try not to choose something that's, you know, if it bleeds over, it doesn't look terrible, or mostly modifying mass market decks that if it gets a little bit wrecked, it's hopefully not the end of the world. But I have done this with countless decks now, and yeah, I think it comes out looking really good. That looks so much better. I can't wait to use this once it's done. Cool. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this little peek into my modding process. This is probably going to be super short. Oh, and these are the sparkle markers that I use anytime that I want a little bit of glitter added to the edges. I tend to put a mark on them after I've used it for an entire deck, because once you've used it for one whole deck, they start to get a little bit dry. So I don't think that you can edge 2 entire decks with these. But yeah, these are the ones that I use most often, and I've just started using the Copics lately. 3 hours later. Okay, so this probably took me, I don't know, maybe like 20 minutes. Once I'm done, I take a look at the edges and make sure there's no bald spots. So I look around, take a look, looks great. That's just a fuzz and there's no spots, but if there were, I would just go over them with the marker. Obviously this is a mess. And then as you can see from just wiping off on the edges as I go, there is a little bit of rub off that I'm glad that it's not like getting smeared. I let them dry for, you know, like 12 to 24 hours before shuffling, just so that I'm not like chipping them more than needed. But this deck, I feel like it really needed this edging, and it looks so good, so good. I'm really happy with how it came out. So let me just see if I can pull out some other decks that I have edged and just show you some other things that I've done. Okay, this is my Shadowscapes tarot that I created a tarot tube sock for, and I did edge this deck in like a metallic-y gray color. It's not quite silver, but it's close. Similarly for Wild Unknown, it's like a pewter color maybe. And Wild Unknown Animal Spirit, I did a lighter silver color. Into the Lonely Woods. I love this. It's like a nice coppery brownish color. Again, metallic. Here I got a little more creative, the Creative Conscious Healing. I did like a mix of blues and greens. Thought that it looked nice. This is again sparkly-ish. The Inner Star Oracle deck. This is a deck that I constantly look at and I'm like, do I need this? And then I'm like, yeah, but it's my favorite color scheme. And then I edged it to try to like convince myself that I needed it. I don't know. It's like constantly on the chopping block, but I always find a reason to keep it around. So this one I edged in multicolors, blue, purple, pink. And then one of my favorite decks of all time, Playful Heart Tarot. This is one of the larger first editions, so it came unedged. So I took a corner rounder to it and made the edges a little bit more round than they were sharp. And I did a rainbow sparkle edging on this. So I split them by suit and colored them in rainbow sparkle colors. And then I added little dots of sparkle to the cards. So you can see like I added a little bit of glitter to her wand. This is super subtle, but like there's sparkles on the hat. The little songbird chirps has sparkles. Glitter coming out of the drum. So I added a little tiny touch of sparkle to every single card on this one. It's like sometimes super subtle, but it makes me happy. Anyways, okay. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed and maybe learned a little something and get your hands messy yourself. If you enjoyed, please like, comment, subscribe, all the things, and I will talk to you later. Signing out.